And welcome everyone back to the best. We're getting ready for game 2 here of our contest. Defensively for the Larks, Mariah Gil-Martin in left, Lexi Sylvie in center, and Natalie Paramo over there in right field. Marissa Harrison gets them out at the hot corner. Jessie Miranda, the mainstay at shortstop. Izzy Kane over at second base with Katie Alanis over at first. Kimberlyn Hobson behind the dish, and Natalie Fisher on the mound here for the Larks to start this game. Fisher on the season, she's pitched in 2 innings, has a 3.45 ERA, starts out Gonzalez with a strike. The one thing about games like that is borrow that for just a second, I'll get it back though. Thanks, Nis. They never give us quite enough time to get things down in the book. As Fisher misses outside, Natalie Fisher. A lot of Natalies on this team for the Larks. And they count even at a ball and a strike. Whether you're a fan of the Threshers, fan of the Larks, that one lined to the fence and foul. Send us a text, 620-217-1465. Off and running in game 2 of this double dip. We had some technical issues in the first game, but we're ironed them out. We're back. Count is 1-2. Natalie Fisher gets her sign, and the changeup drifts high. And they count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes. That's a tapper that is foul. And they count riding at 2-2. So Gonzalez with the Erica Nacarado special, the batter's box disco dancing. Natalie Workey, the lights are on here at the best as those miss outside. The pitch misses outside for Fisher, and they count 3 balls and 2 strikes. Natalie, a freshman from Bethel, Colorado, as that's a fly ball that will tail and just be foul. Into the corner. Our count riding full, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Payoff pitch on the way from Fisher. And that one misses outside, and Gonzalez keeps her streak of getting on base alive. She had a good first game, several hits. 3 hits, 3 for 4, 2 singles and a double. And Abigail Walker, left fielder, coming to bat. Walker lays the bunt down and fouls it off. This time Marissa Harrison lets it roll. Foul. Jacob, can I get that when you're done? Thanks. No, yeah, there's. Thank you, Nis. Bunt laid down. That one will stay in front of the plate. Throw down in time as Hobson pounces on it. A nice little sacrifice bunt laid down by Walker, getting the job done, and moves Gonzalez over to second as the Threshers put a runner in scoring position with 1 out for Taylor Sanfilippo. Natalie missing downstairs. That one tapped foul, and our count evens up at 1 ball, 1 strike. The 1-1 on the way. On the ground, slow roller. Marissa plays it for third. Throw over, not in time. And an infield single for San Filippo. And now runners at the corners, so something doing here for the Threshers with 1 out. Lindsay Myrick coming to bat. Strike called, and they allow San Filippo to run, take the base. Well, if you want to try it, I would, but I mean, it can be a little bit of a hassle. There's a line drive up the middle, base hit, a run's coming in, a second on the heels, throw coming home, and Myrick has a 2-run single, and the Threshers on top quickly here with 2 runs in the top of the first. 1 away for Leah Groves, the catcher. Yeah. If you can make out the chicken scratches. Groves swings through. And our count 0-1. Groves hammers 1 foul. And the count now moves 0-2. Runner over there at first base for the Threshers. 2 runs across, 1 out. Natalie Fisher missing upstairs for the Larks. On our count, 0-2. 1-2, excuse me. Thanks. That one pounded foul. And the count remains 1-2. Natalie missing outside. On our count, even up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Natalie and Coach Bell trying to get on the same page. That comes too far inside. Hits Groves. So the Threshers have a pair of runners aboard under the lights here at the Bess. Corrales Porras coming to bat. Porras check swing. And Natalie goes to 1 on the play. Runners do move up, and Morgan Marsh coming to bat with 2 away. Morgan Marsh came in and ran for McMichael after McMichael singled in the top of the 7th. And Marsh taps it foul. Again, if you're a fan of the Threshers, fan of the Larks, we'd love to hear from you. Drop us a text, 620-217-1465. Natalie misses outside. And the count even, 1 ball, 1 strike. Marsh offers at the bunt and takes the strike. Lark volleyball also in action tonight. They're hosting Highland. Now missing upstairs on our count. Even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. That's a slow roller. Gloved by Katie over first base, but damage done early on as Bethel tacks up 2 runs in their half of the first. We'll go to the bottom of the first, and it'll be Jesse, Lexi, and Kimberlyn all due up here. We're back after this short break after this. And welcome back here to the best. Jessie Miranda to start this off here for the Larks. Jessie did finally get a hit in the last game and broke her little bit of a funk, so to speak. And the first pitch from McMichael is a ball to Jessie. The 1-0 stays too far out, and the count 2-0. Three straight balls from McMichael, and Jessie way ahead. Jessie draws a walk, and she is aboard for the Larks. Let's go Bear, representing Simplify Sports in San Giorgino softball from Cali. So Jessie McMichael with a fan. She's from Cali. Lexi Sylvie steps in. Lex shows bunt, takes the strike. Jessie swiping second base and pulls into second with the stolen base. I mean, it's almost a given that if Jessie gets on first, she's swiping second. Was one of the country's leaders in the full season they played 2 years ago. The 0-1. Lex shoots one foul. And the count 0-2 to Lexi. Jessie swiping third on the steal. Lexi looked to the pitch outside. So Jessie has stolen second and third already. And the 1-2 coming up from McMichael. Lexi fouls it back into the fence, and batter's box disco dancing, staying alive. The 1-2 coming up from McMichael. Lexi fights it off, and a long at bat for Lexi. And sometimes I wonder if there's not a disproportionate amount of foul balls in women's college softball compared to baseball. It seems like the Larks and Dodge City were fouling off every other pitch on Sunday. And they count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Be interesting to know the average lifespan of a college softball per pitch. Lexi tips it back into the glove, a strikeout.
Now batting number 9, Kimberlyn Hobson.
Kimberlyn Hobson digging in. So 3 straight lefties to open the order for the Larks once again. Too far out for McMichael. Jessie gets back, and the wild throw allows Jessie to score on the error, and the Larks have a run. And count 1 ball, no strikes to Kimberlyn. McMichael trying to live outside, just missing outside, and the count 2 balls, no strikes. That one too far in, and the count rides 3 balls, no strikes. There's a strike on the outside corner. And our count 3-1. That pitch too far outside, and the walk issued to Kimbo.
Now batting number 28, Marissa Harrison.
Marissa Harrison digging in. The first righty on the lineup. And there's a strike to Marissa. Larks were no hit through 6th before scoring 3 in the top of the 7th in game 1. They're down 2-1, tying run aboard with 1 out. Marissa pulls back. And our count evens up at 1-1. Pitch dropping in for a strike, and our count 1-2. One drifting high, and our count moves even. 2 balls and 2 strikes. McMichael misses upstairs. Marissa fouls it back towards Seaver Field, and the count still remaining 2-2. Fly ball to center field. Hirschberger going back, now coming under it and making the play. And there are 2 outs here in the bottom of the first.
Number 2, Madison Rosales.
Madison Rosales coming to bat for the Larks. McMichael gets her sign and misses high and away. That one drifting high. Larks softball will be in action Saturday, Sunday. We'll have the broadcast Sunday. We'll be in basketball Saturday. I think they'll be streaming Sunday. I'm not sure, but there will not be play-by-play. Or on Saturday, I should say. On the Hesston College Media Services 2 channel. Count 2-1 to Maddie. Maddie fouls it back into the fence. Got a text saying, "Let's go Larks" from Waller, Texas. Thanks for the live coverage. Well, glad you guys are tuning in on what's turned into a pretty nice night for softball. 62 degrees for a high. 2-2, the count. Deuces wild across the top of that scoreboard. McMichael working, and the Deuces wild pitch. Too far out, and we're full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. We're in the bottom of the first. Larks have answered one of the 2 runs back. Payoff pitch on the way from McMichael to Maddie Rosales. Too far in, and Maddie draws the walk. That brings up Mariah Gilmartin.
Now batting number 10, Mariah Gilmartin.
It's the trio of M's here. The middle order M's. We'll figure something out with that. Mariah stepping to the plate. Two out, 2 on here for the Larks. And Mariah lays off the pitch by her eyes for a ball. Again, a special thank you to our game day sponsor, TNT Flowers. That one misses in, or catches inside, catches the black on our count now. 1 ball, 1 strike, excuse me. Count even 1-1. There's a strike on the outside corner as McMichael finds that corner. She's been nibbling all game and hasn't yet quite found it here in this first inning. Finally does, and the count now 1-2. That one drifting high. As it looks like McMichael took something off of that, the ball drifted up. The count 2-2. Deuces wild one more time. Fly ball to center field. Hirschberger will run underneath it, and Hirschberger makes the basket catch on the run. Larks get a run back. We've played an inning. Larks trail the Threshers 2-1 back after this here with the top of the second here on the Lark Network. We're back in the top of the second. Jesse McMichael to start things off here for the Threshers. They lead 2-1. We took the opportunity to try and embarrass head coach Christy Bell. It's her 28th birthday, so happy birthday, Coach Bell. McMichael had a single in the game and a pinch hit appearance. And then her pinch runner came in and scored. McMichael takes a strike from Fisher. Natalie Fisher. No one on the team is Fisher. That's a hard roller on the ground. Katie gloves it, steps on first, one away. Back-to-back groundouts to Katie over there first base. Emma Hirschberger, center fielder, coming to bat. With Hirschberger lifts one. Right side, Natalie comes underneath it and makes the play. Natalie P.
Now batting number 5, Lexi Birch.
Lexi Birch coming to bat. I don't think Birch can bat. She's listed as the flex here. I didn't think so. Birch listed as the flex. And she can't bat. So Gonzalez, but they didn't throw a pitch, so Gonzalez will come to bat. Some miscommunication there.
Batting number 2, Kaylee Gonzalez.
Gonzalez coming to bat. With 2 outs. Gonzalez drew a walk in the first. That's a little tapper that's fouled into the fence. One strike here to Gonzalez. There's a strike on the outside corner on a count now 0-2. So 0-2 here to Gonzalez in the top of the second. There's a line drive out to Lexi Sylvie coming on, and Lexi comes up with a bouncer, takes one short hop. And Gonzalez on with a single.
Now batting number 27, Abigail Walker.
Abigail Walker coming to bat, a runner aboard. Walker lays the bunt down, and it hit Walker in foul territory. Foul ball. One strike. Pitch downstairs in the dirt, and our count 1 ball, 1 strike. Two away with the runner over there at first base for the Threshers. That bunt laid down and rolling foul. And the count 1 ball, 2 strikes. Yeah, Nis, check that you're not in the top bottom of the second. Okay, good, because it put up a 0 all of a sudden. Okay, good enough. I just want to double check that. Yeah, there's a fly ball to Lexi Sylvie. Lexi coming on, that will drop in front of Lexi for a base hit. And a couple of seeing eye singles, back-to-back seeing eye singles for the Threshers. Have 2 runners on.
Now batting number 10, Taylor Sanafilippo.
There are lights here. That's on the ground. Fisher gloves it, tosses over to Katie. And the Larks work their way out of the jam, a little bit of the jam. We've played an inning and a half. Larks trail 2-1 back after this. We're heading to the, we're heading to the bottom of the second, and Natalie Fisher start this off for the Larks in the bottom of the frame. And Fisher, line drive, first pitch swinging is a single to right. And Fisher aboard at the Larks have their first hit of the contest, and Izzy Kane coming to bat, and I told Izzy I would not call her Izzy. So Izzy making her first at-bat on the season. She's from Rose Hill. The Larks with a runner on. Make sure I put that up here in the bottom of the second. Izzy tries to bunt, fouls it back. Larks trying to manufacture, look like they're trying to go small ball. Izzy tries another bunt. And that's down and foul, and the count now 0-2. Natalie Fisher on first. Izzy at the bat. Count 0-2, and we're in the bottom of the second. That one drifts low, and our count 1 ball, 2 strikes. Few Bethel football players in attendance here. Bethel had a really good football season. Had a really good men's basketball season as well. They captured the KCAC championship. As he fouls it off. And the count 1-2. Strike 3 on the outside corner. Izzy goes down. Looks like Jesse McMichael has a little bit of a fan club here from Bethel. She's from Cali, we know that. Got a couple texts about it. Natalie Paramo coming to bat. Here for the Larks. With one away. Natalie tries to punch one down the left field line and fouls it off. And our count 0-1. Natalie again trying to find that left field corner. Count 0-2. What's that? Oh, he did. Well, okay, so it's Olivia batting. She gave me the wrong. That's on Coach Bell. So Olivia has the count drive outside. She had 14 down. I thought that was interesting. So this is Olivia, not Natalie. Count 1-2 to Olivia. Again, she shoots one foul down the left field line. Another long at bat. I know in the major leagues, the average lifespan of a baseball is 6.5 pitches. I've looked it up. But I'd like to know what the average lifespan of a college softball is. Can't be more than 3 or 4 pitches. The 1-2. And that one's fouled off again. Long at-bat here for Liv. That's a chopper. That is gloved by Myrick on a nice play to find that for Myrick. Fisher moved up 60 feet, one away. That was a hard hit ball into the ground. And that brings up Jesse Miranda. Jesse drew a walk, stole a pair of bases. And it looks like we've got Augie coming in to run for Fisher. So Michaela Agnasanti coming in to run. She goes by Augie.
And reminder, please keep your mask on at all times.
So Jesse digging in here against McMichael. And the pitch. Too far outside, one ball. The 1-0. There's a strike on the outside corner. And the count evens a 1-1 strike. Jesse hammers one, and that is driven into left field. And Jesse has herself a single. That was a hard hit ball.
Now batting number 17, Lexi Sylvie.
The only way you can call it is a single, as Myrick making a jumping stab, got a piece of it, deflecting into shallow left field. Lexi Sylvie coming to bat. And Lexi takes a strike. Jesse moves to second. There's a little line drive, and it's gloved out there by Walker. So the threat is ended. Larks strand a pair. We've played two. Larks trail the Threshers 2-1 back after this. And welcome back as we're heading to the top of the third. Larks trail the Threshers 2-1. Lindsey Myrick coming to bat here for Bethel.
Leading off number 24, Lindsey Myrick.
And Myrick Had a 2-run single in her first at bat. And Myrick chases upstairs. 1 strike. Fisher getting her sign. Comes inside, catches the lower corner of the zone, the count 0-2. Glove softball has made a change going to a majority, say a very vast majority, use a number system for pitches, for strategies. No more signs, just numbers. That one misses upstairs. So wristbands, everyone's got wristbands with numbers and positioning and what they want to do defensively or offensively. That's been a change over the last several years that everyone has embraced. That's a tapper foul left side and into the Lark dugout. Or almost in the Lark dugout. Let me count 1-2. Swing and a miss. Myrick goes down on the strikeout. And there's 1 away here for Leah Groves, the catcher. She was hit by a pitch. Has an on-base percentage of 1,000, her first at-bat. Because she was hit by a pitch. No, not an official at-bat, but on-base percentage goes up. And Groves fouls him back to the fence. And the count 0-1. That's a tapper on the ground. Marissa can't come up with it. And Groves aboard. Corrales Poros. Poros coming to bat. That takes a strike on the inner corner from Natalie Fisher. Poros taps it foul and is quickly behind in the count. 0-1. 1 away, runner on here for the Threshers, top of 3. Again, would love to hear from you. Send us a text, 620-217-1465. The 0-2 coming up. There's a little pop-up, and that will drop foul in front of Katie over at first base. And the count's still riding 0-2. There's a line drive that will tail foul. Their count 0-2 still. Another long at-bat. Time called by Toros. Count 0-2, one away with runner aboard. Top of the third, Threshers on top of the Larks, 2-1. Fly ball hit a mile high. Katie makes the play. And 2 away.
Now batting number 29, Morgan Marsh.
Morgan Marsh coming to bat. Morgan Marsh grounded out in her first at bat over there to Katie at first base. And there's a swing and a miss. The Bess has fly ball lights, and those make a difference. The 0-1 coming up. That's a line drive right side base hit for Marsh. And that brings up Jesse McMichael.
30, Jesse McMichael.
2 runners on here for the Threshers as we're working into the top of the third. McMichael grounded out in her first at bat. And takes the ball low. On the ground, base hit, center field. A run comes home. The Larks gun down. Marsh over at third. McMichael does single, get an RBI. And then Marsh is thrown out. 8-2-5 on the putout. But a run scores. Threshers go up 3-1. We'll be back with the bottom of the third right after this. And welcome back here to the Bess. Kimberly Hobson to lead things off here in the bottom of the third for the Larks. She drew a walk. And the Larks trying to get something going. They trail 3-1. So it's Kimberlin and then the Mighty M's coming to bat. Marissa, Madison, and Mariah. Kimberlin takes a pitch upstairs for a ball. Bottom 3 here from the Best Mullet softball field. That one misses outside, and our count 2 balls, no strikes. Pitch stays just outside, maybe a little low. We're 3 balls, no strikes here to Kimberlin. Kimberlin hops her way to first on the walk.
Number 28, Marissa Harrison.
Marissa Harrison flew out to center field. I believe it's 215 down the lines, 220 to center here at the best. McMichael deals, and that's fouled back. And the count 0-1 here to Marissa. That one too far, catching the corner inside, the count 0-2. That's off the fist at the shortstop Gonzalez. Throw over, not in time. 1 out recorded.
Now batting number 2, Madison Rosales.
So Maddie Rosales coming in. She drew a walk. Marissa over at first base. And Madison fouls it back, right side, and out of play. The 0-1. That's a little fly ball, and that will drop in for a base hit for Madison. And the Larks now with 2 on. Mariah Gilmartin coming to bat. She flew out to center field. Larks with a little something doing. A couple runners on, 1 out. That one misses upstairs. And the count 0-1. 3-1 the score. Bethel in front. That one too far in, and the count now 2 balls, no strikes. Both teams chose to wear black. Kind of hard to keep them separated. Bethel, though, has white. Makes it easy to read. Too far inside to Mariah, and the count 3-0. That one too far in, and the meadow is full. An exaltation of Larks on the base paths, and that brings up Natalie Fisher. Excuse me, a little frog in my throat. Fisher coming to bat. And Natalie singled her last at bat. Izzy on deck. With one out here in the bottom of the third, and the Larks trailing 3-1. There's a strike. To Natalie from McMichael. And the 0-1 coming up. Owen fouled back into the fence. And the count 0-2. So the 0-2 now. Fisher 1 for 1. It was her first career hit as a Lark. She fouls it off of her ankle. And the count remains 0-2. Strike 3 called as Fisher frozen.
Now batting number 00, Izzy Kane.
Izzy Kane struck out looking her first at bat. Izzy fouls it back into the fence. The 0-1 delivery. Too far inside, our count evens at a ball and a strike. The 1-1 stays high to Izzy, and the count now 2 balls and 1 strike. Izzy's the freshman. Izzy fouls it back and out of play, and we're even. And the count now 2 balls and 2 strikes. So 2-2 to Izzy. Izzy fouls it back right side. And that one tails towards Sieberfield. And the count still remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. A little batter's box disco dancing for Izzy. As she's staying alive. Erica said she'll sing between innings for you guys. And the count now 2 balls and 2 strikes. Izzy, little fly ball right side, long run coming on, and a basket catch made by Marsh out there in right field that ends the threat. Larks strand to 3. We'll go to the top of the 4th. Larks trail 3-1. Back after this here on the Lark Network. And welcome back to the Beths.
Emma Hirschberger.
Emma Hirschberger, center fielder for the Threshers, start us off here in the top of the fourth. Bethel with a 3-1 lead. As Hirschberger flew out in her first at-bat. Erica's getting a lot of text to sing, so apparently people are blowing up Erica's phone. She's over here working the music. That's a slow roller. Fisher gloves it, tosses over to Katie with a scoop. 1 away. So Natalie Fisher with the putout. And that brings up Kaylee Gonzalez. Gonzalez, 1-for-1 with a single and a walk. Mila Mendiola coming to bat. That's a fly ball, popped out of play. 1 strike to Mendiola. If he's not there, he's over at the volleyball. But the guy in the gray shirt standing right there can help you, and then he can get the other. Yeah, he's got the Hesston College athletic trainer on that. And the 0-1 coming up. That's on the ground, gloved by Marissa over there, third base at the hot corner. The toss over, and they're 2 away.
Number 27, Abigail Walker.
Abigail Walker coming to bat. She singled her first at bat, or her second at bat. Laid down a sacrifice bunt, so she's 1 for 1. Bunt laid down by Walker, but it's foul. 1 strike. The 0-1. Walker tried to offer and then say, they're saying it's a strike because she offered at it. So Walker takes the strike and the count 0-2. Since she offered at it and was hit, she has to come back, and she's down behind in the count 0-2. Swing and a miss. Bethel goes quickly and quietly. 1-2-3. We've played 3.5. Larks trail the Threshers 3-1. We're back after this. Olivia Nava coming to bat here in the bottom of the fourth. She grounded out in her first at bat. So Olivia, Jesse, and Lexi all due up here in the bottom of the fourth. Bottom four, yes. There's a fly ball into the fence. And one away, or excuse me, one strike. Looking the wrong thing here. Larks trail 3-1. And the 0-1 delivery. Liv lifts one, and that will drop in for what looks like it could be a double, and Liv takes it.
Now batting number 21, Jesse Miranda.
And that brings up Jesse Miranda. So Liv takes second, and Jesse comes to bat. Jesse has herself a single and a pair of stolen bases. And fielder's indifferent on one of those. She's 1 for 1 with a single and a walk, and she'll take a pitch outside for a ball. 1 ball to the red shirt sophomore from Turlock, California. And the 1-0. Too far outside on our count. Moves 2 balls, no strikes. There's a strike on the outside corner from McMichael. And the count now 2 balls and 1 strike. On the 2-1. Jesse shoots one. That's just foul. Just on the outside of the chalk down the line. And the count 2 balls, 2 strikes. That one had Triple City written all over it. And they count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Jessie fouls it off and battles her way. There's a count riding 2 balls and 2 strikes. That's too far out. Our count, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Count is full. So a big time payoff pitch here for McMichael on the way. And Jesse fights it off, fouls it away. And the count still remains 3-2. Another payoff pitch. McMichael dealing. Jesse fights off another one, and our count still remains 3-2. That one's upstairs, ball 4, long at bat, and Jesse battles her way to first on the walk.
Now batting number 17, Lexi Sylvie.
Lexi Sylvie coming to bat. And there's a case of someone being overdue. It's this girl right here. So 2 on, none out for Lex. She lined out her last at bat to left field. And Lexi offered and took a strike. The 0-1 coming up from McMichael. And the count evens at 1-1. McMichael getting her sign from her catcher, Groves. Lex lays off, and the count now 2 balls, 1 strike. Lexi fouls it off. And the count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. The 2-2. Lexi fights it off, fouls it out of play. Our count is full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. It got stuck on mute. That ball popped out of play. And the count now still remaining full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. I saw Erica doing some pre-singing stretches before. She's ready for the between innings sing-along. She's ready to lead us in. Count full here to Kimberlin. Payoff pitch. As Kimberlin fights it back and fouls it to the fence. Seems like we have a lot of foul balls in college fast pitch softball. Payoff pitch. One more time. That's upstairs. Kimberlin draws the walk. And the sacks are full. Bases loaded here for the Larks. Marissa Harrison coming to bat. Marissa's 0 for 2. And that might close the book here on McMichael, and it will. They're bringing in Jackson. And Skylar Jackson coming to warm up. We'll step away. Skylar Jackson into pitch here for the Threshers. 1 out and the bases are loaded. The nest occupied, the meadow full, an exaltation of Larks on the base paths. Yes, that is the scientific grouping for a flock of Larks, an exaltation. So Marissa stepping in. Marissa 0 for 2 in this contest. And she digs in. Skylar Jackson now coming in to pitch for McMichael. Here in the bottom of the 4th. And that one misses downstairs to Marissa. 1 ball. Marissa fouls one back down to play. Right side as she was aiming for the Villa. And the count evens 1-1. Marissa chases high cheese, and she almost hurt herself on that swing. She was trying to hit that ball back to Oklahoma. On the count 1-2. Stop. No, Erica, just Marissa striking out. Marissa trying to figure out, Erica's up here trying to figure out where Oklahoma is, and this is not pleasant. Maddie Rosales stepping in. Maddie singled. Maddie singled her last at bat. Since Erica got confused, we're going to help her out. Best Field opens directly southeast. That one misses downstairs. Our count quickly, 2 balls, no strikes here to Maddie. 3-1 the score. Larks trail by 2. Maddie singled her last at bat. That one misses downstairs, and they count 3 balls, no strikes. So that bat will most likely be glued to Maddie's shoulder. 3-0. There's a strike at the knees. And they count 3 balls, 1 strike. On foul back and out of play. Our count full, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Payoff pitch coming up from Jackson to, hey, that's ball 4, and the Larks will have a run on the walk.
Batting number 10, Mariah Gilmartin.
And Mariah Gilmartin coming to bat. The Larks get a run back. 3-2 the score. And Mariah Gilmartin, who is 0 for 1 with a fly out to center field and a walk. And Mariah takes a strike. The first pitch she sees from Jackson. The 0-1. Oh, misses upstairs in our count. 1 ball, 1 strike. Little pop-up. That'll be out of play. And we count 1 ball and 2 strikes. People diving for cover here. So Maddie battling. Excuse me, the Mariah battling. Excuse me. Mariah's 0 for 1 fly out. Drew a walk. Larks have had bases loaded twice, back-to-back innings. There's a little flare. That will be caught by Gonzalez, and the threat ended here quickly. Larks get 1 back. They trail 3-2. We'll be back with the top of the 5th after this. And welcome back here to the top of the fifth at the best. Taylor Sanfilippo coming to bat here for the Threshers. She did single, stole a base, and then grounded out. Oh, thank you. That's right. That's right. They've changed that. Mendiola moving into short. Thank you for that. So Mendiola is now at short for Gonzalez. And a strike issued from Fisher to Sanfilippo. Appreciate that. What happens when we're not notified of the changes up here in the press box at the best. The 0-1 coming up. Fisher drops the changeup in, and the count 0-2. Sanfilippo behind in the count 0-2 here to Fisher. Time called by the Bethel first baseman. Bethel just down the road, 7 miles north Newton. Sister school, a lot of courses transfer. There's often been a lot of transfer from Hesston to Bethel in the past. That one's chopped foul off of Sanfilippo's foot. And they're asking about something, but count 0-2. And the 0-2 coming up. That's on the ground, gloved by Fisher. The toss over, one away. Nellie Fisher slinging the leather over there at first base. One out. Lindsey Myrick coming to bat, the third baseman for the Threshers. Myrick 1 for 2 with a 2-run single in the first. That one misses inside. No ball. That's on the ground. Marissa gloves at third, throws over. Nice stretch and hang by Katie over there at first. And 2 outs.
Number 36, Leah Groves.
Leah Groves coming to bat. There's a changeup on the ground. Jesse gloves it on the run, throw over, and Jesse retires Groves. Quick inning for the Threshers. They go 1-2-3. We've played 4.5. Larks trail 3-2. Back after this.
26, Natalie Fisher.
Natalie Fisher coming to bat. Fisher 1 for 2 with a single and a strikeout. As we're in the bottom of the 5th, Larks trail 3-2. Fisher digging in against Jackson. And the pitch misses outside, 1 ball. That one will stay low, and our count evens or moves to 2 balls, no strikes. And that one drifting high on our count, 3 balls, no strikes here to Fisher. Jackson working. And Fisher draws a walk. Natalie aboard. Leadoff runner aboard for the Larks. That is the tying run. Izzy Kane coming to bat. Izzy still looking for her first hit as a Lark. So Izzy digging in. She's 0 for 2. Fouls it back to the fence. Be 0-1. Izzy takes a strike at the knees. And Izzy quickly behind 0-2. That one too far in. And our count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. That one misses upstairs to Izzy, and the count now 2 balls, 2 strikes. Izzy line drive, and that will be gloved for the out, as that was right at Marsh. She'd move about 3 steps. And 1 away. Olivia Nava coming to bat. Got a text saying, thanks for the play-by-play. Watching in Cali. So Cali in the house. That's from the McMichael fan club. Olivia Nava doubled her last at bat. That one misses outside. 1 ball. Liv fouls it back into the screen, and we're even at 1 ball and a strike. There's a strike on the changeup, and they count 1-2. Going too high. I will skip away, and Fisher takes second on the wild pitch. Count evens up, 2 balls and 2 strikes. On the ground, slow roller, and a foot race and a tag over made by Sanfilippo. Olivia went down hard. Olivia dusts herself off and brings up Jessie Miranda.
Larks number 21, Jessie Miranda.
I'ma lay him down like he in a line. Walking down, 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 walking down.
So Jessie singled once, has drawn 2 walks, stolen a couple bases. On the ground, slow roller, that could be trouble. Jessie will have herself a base hit and an RBI, and the Larks have tied it up as Jessie chops one, gets a ribby, and we're all knotted up at 3 apiece.
Larks number 17, Lexi Sylvie.
Lexi Sylvie coming to bat here for the Larks. Lexi 0 for 3. And Lexi swings and misses. Jessie swiping at second base. There's a strike on the outside half. And I count 0-2. That's a ball hit on the ground, gloved by Birch, toss over. Larks tie it up, though, on the single by Jessie Miranda. We're tied up. We played 5, heading to 6, all not up at 3. Back after this.
Sports.
We're in the top of the 6th here for Bethel. Corral Sports coming to bat. That text saying, let's go, Natalie. Little watching from Cali. We're all tied up at 3. Top of 6. Porras is 0 for 2 with a pair of groundouts. She fly ball to center field. Lexi Sylvie going back, and Lexi showing off her wheels as she tracks it down. What away?
Now batting number 29, Morgan Marsh.
Morgan Marsh coming to bat. Here in the top of the 6th. Marsh. One for 2, but then was thrown out trying to stretch her single into 3. And takes a strike. Marsh singled. And Groves came in and scored as Marsh tried to advance as the throw came home. The 0-1. Bunt laid down, and it's foul. Their count 0-2. Marsh bunted so hard she came out of her shoes. She's retying. The 0-2 coming up. That one misses upstairs. Their count 1-2. That's a hard hit ball up the middle. Base hit for Marsh. She picks up her 2nd single of the contest. And 1 on, 1 out for
Now batting number 46,
Skylar Jackson. The sun has gone down, and with it went the temperature. You can if you want. Okay. That's a chopper, though, fouled off. Count 0-1 here to Jackson. Oh, and getting through Kimberlin downstairs. And Marsh takes second on the ball pitch. Count is even 1-1. One misses upstairs. Or count 2 balls and 1 strike. Fly ball lifted, and that will tail into the left field corner. And they count 2 balls, 2 strikes. This is Jackson's first plate appearance, as she was in the pitching flex role, and swings and misses in a strike. Out for Fisher.
Now batting number 28, Emma Hirschberger.
Emma Hirschberger's 0-4-2 with a fly out, no ground out. She did single in the 2nd inning of game 1. That's on the ground. Katie gloves it and steps on first base. So we'll go to the bottom of the 6th, all tied up at 3 here on the Lark Network.
Larks number 9, Kimberlyn.
Kimberlyn Hobson coming to bat here for the Larks in the bottom of the 6th. We're all tied up. Kimberlyn's 0 for 0, 3 walks drawn. And 1 ball to Kimberlyn. Kimberlyn is being called back. Well, I'm not sure. Now the umpires are talking it over. Hit her on the elbow. So they say Kimberlyn is hit by the pitch. And she's aboard. The bottom of the 6th, excuse me. That brings up Marissa Harrison. And Marissa takes a pitch outside, 1 ball. Marissa's 0 for 3. Takes a strike on the outside corner. I count even at a ball and a strike. The 1-1 delivery from Jackson stays low. And our count evens at a ball, or moves to 2 balls and 1 strike. That's a line drive that's caught. And a double play made here. A double play on the line drive off of Birch, off of Jackson to Birch to first, and a double play turned by Bethel. Madison Rosales coming to bat. She's 1 for 1 with a single, 2 walks, and an RBI. 2 away here in the 6th. And Madison takes a pitch low from Jackson, 1 ball. Clear the runners here, 1 ball. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. Our count now 2 balls, no strikes. Fly ball right side. Long run for Marsh, and that will drop in for a base hit. Maddie Rosales singles, her second single of the contest.
Number 10, Mariah Gilmartin.
And brings up Mariah Gilmartin. Mariah's 0 for 2 with a fly out and a pop out. She also drew a walk. At some point, the Lark bats have to get going. There's a pitch to Mariah, in for a strike. Mariah takes a pitch upstairs. And the count evens at a ball and a strike. There's a little pop that's towards the dugout, and our count now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Fly ball in the infield. Mendiola making the play at shortstop. The Lark threat ended. We've played 6. We're tied up at 3. Back after this. Mendiola coming to bat here in the top of the 7th. We're all tied up at 3. As top of the order here for the Threshers. Mendiola grounded out her first at-bat in this contest. Top 7 we go. Larks and Threshers battling here. Mendiola takes a strike from Fisher. Natalie ahead. That's chopped on the ground and foul past Marissa over third. Our count 0-2. Yeah. missed one. Thanks. Thanks, Erica. That's a little line drive out to right center field. Base knock for Mendiola. Leadoff runner aboard for the Threshers here in the top of the 7th.
Number 27, Abigail Walker.
Abigail Walker coming to bat. She laid down a sacrifice bunt in the first, singled in the second, and struck out in the fourth. We're in the 7th. So 1 for 2. Bunt laid down, and nice play again by the Larks over at third base. Whether it's Kimberlyn or Marissa, they're both letting bunts roll foul. And the count 0-1. Pitch downstairs in the dirt. Good block by Kimberlyn behind the dish. Count evens at 1 ball, 1 strike. The 1-1. Bunt popped up. Fair ball played. And Walker has herself an infield single on the bunt. 2 aboard, 9 out.
Number 10, Taylor Sanfilippo.
Taylor Sanfilippo coming to bat. Pitch downstairs. And they count 1 ball, no strikes. None out here, top of the 7th. That ball hammered foul by Sanfilippo. And the count now, once again, at 1 ball and 1 strike. Trying to work this laptop left-handed. I'm a righty. Not working well. Count 1-1. Oh, a tapped foul on the count. Evens at a ball and a strike. Go ahead runs out there for the Threshers here on the top of the 7th. The 1-2. Line drive, fair ball, and Marissa stepping on the bag. So 1 away on the fielder's choice.
Now batting number 24, Lindsay Myrick.
Lindsay Myrick stepping up, 1 out. Myrick singled in 2 in the first. Struck out and grounded out. Chases upstairs on the changeup. That's on the ground. Marissa makes a diving stop. but they say the ball foul. And I count 0-2. Count 0-2 here to Myrick after the hard foul ball. That went in and tight to Myrick from Fisher. Natalie getting her sign one more time from Coach Bell. Fly ball. Lexi comes underneath the lazy routine fly ball. And there's 2 outs.
Now batting number 36, Leah Groves.
Leah Groves, catcher coming to bat. She was hit by a pitch in the first, reached on an error in the third, scored a run, and then grounded out. Busy day, 1 for 2, officially in the book. There's a little flare. Marissa makes the play over there. We'll go to the bottom of the 7th. Larks need a run. We're all tied up at 3. Back after this. So here we go, bottom of the 7th for the Larks. Natalie Fisher due up. Fisher, Izzy, and Olivia all coming up. We're slated to come up. We're in the 7th, sorry. Bottom 7. All tied up at 3. Seven, 8, 9 here for the Larks. Bottom part of the order, though, has scored 2 of the 3 runs. And Fisher takes a pitch down low, 1 ball. Fisher swings through, and our count evens at a 1-1. That one fell back into the fence, and our count 1-2. The 1-2. Fly ball right side. And that is dropped in foul territory. And so Fisher with new life. Fisher hammers it foul, left side. And the count's still riding 1-2. The 1-2 delivery. Fisher laying off, and the count now 2 balls and 2 strikes. Pitch missing downstairs and inside, and the count 3-2 to Fisher. We're full here from the best. Payoff pitch. Ball 4, and Fisher draws her second consecutive walk. She is aboard.
0, Izzy Kane.
And that brings up Izzy Kane. So Fisher aboard here in the top of this, or the bottom of the 7th. I know what inning it is. Bottom 7 in my scorebook. Excuse me. Oh, and foul backing out of play. Izzy's 0 for 3. Looking for a hit here. That one misses down. And our count 1 ball and 1 strike. That's a strike on the outside corner to Izzy from Jackson. And the count 1-2. The 1-2 delivery. As he fouls it back, fights it off, stays alive. So the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Fisher's still over there first. Jackson laboring here in the bottom of the 7th. Izzy fly ball. And that will be gloved by Marsh out there on the right side. And that brings up Olivia 1 away.
Number 13, Olivia Nava.
Olivia doubled in the 4th. And I think we've got a substitution coming in. Terry Stanton coming in to hit for Olivia. So Terry stepping in. Terry in game 1 was hit by pitch, lined out twice.
Pitching for the Larks, number 20, Terry Stanton.
So Terry quickly out, puts on her hitter's gear. Protective padding over the elbow, protective padding over the right shin, and the lefty digs in. 1 away with Fisher over at first base. And Terry takes a strike. The 0-1. There's a strike on the outside corner, and the count quickly 0-2 to Terry. Swing and a miss. Terry goes down. 2 outs here in the 7th. Jesse Miranda stepping up. Jesse, 2 for 2, 2 singles, 3 stolen bases, 2 walks here by my count. And Jesse takes a strike on the outside corner as we're in the 7th, bottom 7. Jesse lays a drag bunt down. Throw not in time. Jesse legs out the infield bunt single. Jesse just so fast, and 2 on for Lexi Sylvie.
17, Lexi Sylvie.
So 2 on here for Lex. Lexi 0 for 4. Two aboard here in the 7th, and Lexi sees a pitch outside, 1 ball. There's a strike on the outside corner from Jackson. The count 1 ball, 1 strike. The 1-1. Lexi fouls it back. And count 1-2. The 1-2 delivery coming up from Jackson. Stays high on our count. Even 2 balls and 2 strikes. That one stays outside, and we're full 3 balls, 2 strikes. Ball 4, Lexi draws a walk, and the bases are loaded with 2 outs here in the 7th. And Kimberlyn Hobson coming to bat here for the Larks. Kimberlyn was hit by a pitch and has drawn 3 walks. So 2 outs, bases loaded, bottom of the 7th. And Kimberlyn takes a strike. The 0-1. Kimberlyn fouls it back. And our count now 0-2. The 0-2 delivery coming up from Jackson. Kimberlyn fly ball lifted to right center field. Coming on is Hirschberger, and we are going to free softball. As we've played 7, heading to the 8th, we're all tied up at 3. Back after this. We're into the top of the 8th. It's 6-7-8 here in the Bethel lineup. Corrales Porras coming to bat. She's over 3. Larks left the bases loaded for the 3rd time this contest. As we're ready here. Perales. Hitter out of the box, and Perales is out on interference. 1 away. Oh, so we are starting with a runner on second base. Yeah, so Grove's over there on second. And 1 away. So we have a runner on. Morgan Marsh up. Bunt laid down. And the Larks pounce on it 2 away. As the runner moves over to third. As we're in the 8th. Now, is that a new rule this year? Because I think they've gone. They did that for a long time, and did they go back to that? Yeah. There's a grounder at Marissa. Throw over, and the Larks get away. Out of the inning we go. 1, 2, 3, and we'll go to the 8th. That puts Kimberlin over at first, or at second, rather. We'll be back with the bottom of the 8th after this. So here we go, bottom 8. Natalie's over there at second base. And Marissa coming to bat.
Marissa Harrison.
So Natalie going to run at second. And everyone making sure that they've got stuff back in the dugout. Marissa 0 for 4. Marissa shows bunt, lays a perfect bunt down, but it's foul. Rolled, it spun foul. I thought it was going to stay fair. Spun foul. Got a text, Lark me up from Paige Biddle. Miss you too, Paige. The 0-1 coming up. Marissa pops the bunt foul. And the count 0-2. We're into the 8th. The runner over there at second is Natalie Paramo. And the count 0-2. Marissa fouls it back and into the screen. The count still riding 0-2. As Marissa chases upstairs. And Marissa goes down swinging one away. Maddie Rosales coming up. Maddie, 2 for 2, 2 singles, 2 walks. Run driven in. Natalie over there at second with 1 away. That's a line drive that's dropping in for a base hit. Natalie on her way, and the runner coming home, and Natalie's slips around the tag and is safe at home, and that's your ball game. Natalie with a creative slide gets around the tag, and the Larks come away with the victory. 4-3 in extra innings. That's going to do it for us. Thank you to our sponsor, TNT Flowers. And we will be back in action right here, Lark Network Basketball Saturday, conference for men and women, and then Sunday softball right here. I'll be back for that. I'm Rusty Witcher saying thank you and good night.